It would be wonderful if life never tempted you, if you could go from day to day improvising and always doing the right thing. But the world is not like that. In the end, we end up making mistakes or taking actions that we regret later. Stoicism, in theory, is a philosophy in practice. It is a set of rules for living. The Stoics believe that life is complicated and full of situations that will test us, so they created rules to help keep us on the right path. In this video, I'm going to talk about 11 historical rules that I set for myself to become the best version of myself. These 11 rules were created by Stoic philosophers over 2,000 years ago and have been helpful to many people throughout history. I invite you to stay until the end to learn all the rules so you can apply them to your life. Before we begin, I would appreciate it if you liked the video to help me continue spreading this philosophy. If you are not subscribed, I recommend subscribing and activating the bell so you don't miss any videos. Rule No. 1. Conquer your mornings. One of the best moments in Marcus Aurelius's Meditations is the discussion he has with himself at the beginning of Book 5. He notes that he has to get out of bed, but he desperately wants to stay under the warm sheets. It's easy to understand, but also impressive. Marcus Aurelius didn't have to get out of bed. He wasn't actually obliged to do anything. Many emperors before him had delegated the tasks of government to focus solely on living life surrounded by luxury. However, Marcus Aurelius forced himself not to fall into these temptations and to take care of his tasks very early in the morning. He knew that winning the morning was the key to winning the day and ultimately winning in life. He might not have heard the expression "the early bird catches the worm," but he was well aware that a day well started was a productive day. I personally take these 3 actions to have a productive morning. 1. Write in a journal as soon as I wake up. I write down the things I have to do during the day and a small reflection on the previous day, noting what I did well and what I did badly to become aware of what I need to improve. Journaling allows me to create a habit every morning and reflect on my life. It reminds me of what I need to do and how I need to act. 2. Play sports. You don't have to do sports with a lot of intensity. By playing sports, I mean getting moving, going for a walk, going to the gym, going for a run, or whatever you want as long as it activates you physically. It will wake you up and put your mind at ease and ready for the 3rd action. 3. Focus on work. Once I have done the previous 2 actions, I am ready to focus on the task in front of me. Rule No. 2. Focus on what is under your control. The Stoics put a lot of emphasis on focusing on the things we can control and forgetting about the things we can't control. Understanding this will make you much more practical, and you will waste less time worrying about things that don't deserve it. Once you understand this, you will avoid many frustrations and sufferings, knowing what is worth focusing on to achieve the goals you set for yourself. A clear example is in sports. You control how you play. But you do not control if you win, if the opponent is respectful, or if the public cheers you on or not. When you realize this and start focusing on your game instead of others, you will likely achieve a better performance. Apply this saying to all situations in your life. Rule No. 3. Don't suffer for imaginary problems. Situations of uncertainty will generate thoughts that make us suffer. This is normal, but if we think carefully about it, most of the negative situations we imagine may never happen. In Seneca's words, we are more frightened than hurt, and we suffer more from imagination than from reality. Try to focus on the present and stay calm. Chances are that the bad thing you imagine might not end up happening. Rule No. 4. Treat success and failure the same. Marcus Aurelius had an interesting metaphor. He said that all men are like a rock. He would throw the rock up in the air and say he neither gains anything by going up nor loses anything going down. It remains the same rock. Whether the day starts with a promotion or ends with a layoff, you're still the same person. In fact, negative situations in life usually teach us many things, so they are even more useful than positive situations. Feel grateful for everything that happens to you, no matter if it is good or bad, because no matter what happens, you are still the same, and you will be able to learn from any situation. Rule No. 5. Do only one thing every day. This rule should not be applied literally. By doing one thing every day, I mean focusing on one goal to achieve each day, no matter how small. Living without goals turns a potentially extraordinary life into a mediocre one. For people with many goals, having big ambitions is not bad, but focus on taking one step at a time. Focusing on too many things at once can make you lose focus on what is really important. With this rule, I invite you to try to achieve at least one goal you set for yourself every day. It doesn't matter if it is something basic or complex, strive to achieve it. Rule No. 6. Don't look for the easy way. Whenever you want to achieve something, remember that there is no easy way to achieve it. In life, things that are worthwhile are achieved with effort. Think of anyone you consider successful and read their biography. You will see that everything that person has achieved was accomplished through hard work and discipline. Difficult paths build your character, help you learn from your mistakes, and encourage you to persevere. The difference between those who achieve great goals and those who don't is their tolerance for effort and sacrifice. Anyone can choose the easy path. That is why there are very few who always achieve what they set out to do. Rule No. 7. Ask yourself if it is necessary. Take a moment to reflect on the things you do in life. Ask yourself, is what I am doing necessary? You will realize how many things we do and want in our lives are totally dispensable. We waste time on things that don't really bring us anything. How do we know if what we do is necessary? Ask yourself why you do the things you do. Find a valuable reason, something worthwhile. If you don't find that valuable reason, what you do is unnecessary in your life. Rule No. 8. Love your destiny. Things don't always turn out the way we want them to. It is a fact of life. As Seneca said, fortune behaves as it pleases. His own life was proof of that. Health problems interrupted his political career, and an emperor exiled him. He managed to return only to have the same thing happen to him again. Almost everything was out of Seneca's control. The only part that was up to him was how he decided to view those events and what he decided to do with them. He chose to see them as a good thing. Life will make you go through good and bad situations. It is up to you to decide how to deal with them, whether to look for the positive side of things that happen or to live in constant regret. Rule No. 9. Talk to death. The founder of Stoicism, Zeno of Citium, visited the oracle after losing all his wealth to find inspiration on what to do in the future. The oracle told him that to live a good life, he must talk to the dead. The oracle was referring to reading. He invited Zeno to read the books of the philosophers who had lived before him. Reading is an incredible tool. It gives you the ability to read the thoughts and opinions of people who lived thousands of years ago. We live in a world where we constantly look for new things and forget about the old. There is nothing wrong with new things, but we must not forget the vital knowledge written in books. We have the power to converse with the greatest minds of the past, who with their experience can guide us and help us in our lives. The worst thing is that millions of people choose to reject this superpower. Take advantage of it. It has never been easier to access ancient knowledge thanks to the internet. Rule No. 10. Be hard on yourself and sympathetic to others. It is important to remember that the Stoic has strict rules and strong opinions about what is right and what is wrong. And this is a big but we have to be understanding and forgiving of those who have been, as Marcus Aurelius writes, turned away from the truth. Your standards are for you. This is not to say that we allow people to act unjustly or wickedly, but we don't have to judge everyone who doesn't behave exactly the way we want them to. In this case, the best thing we can do is lead by example. If you want to show someone that they are acting in the wrong way, strive to act in the right way yourself and show them this. This is the best way to make an impact on someone and change their mindset. It may take some time, but sooner or later, they will start to imitate you. Rule No. 11. Remember that you die every day. In the words of Seneca, this is our great mistake to think that we look ahead to death. Most of death has already passed. All the time that has passed is the property of death. It is easy to see death as something distant. We think of death as an event that happens to us at some point in life. It is something stationary, regardless of the date on which it will occur. Every day we approach it slowly or quickly, depending on our age and health. Seneca considered this a wrong way of thinking about death, one that leads to many bad habits and a bad life. On the contrary, he said that death is a process happening to us right now. We die every day. Even as you watch this video, time is passing that you will never get back. That time, he said, belongs to death. Death is not in the distance, it is with us right now. It is the second hand of the clock, the sunset. When the arrow of time moves, death keeps claiming it every moment that has passed. What are we to do about it? The answer is live. Live while you can. Procrastinate nothing, leave nothing unfinished, and make the most of the time while it still belongs to you. What did you think of these Stoic rules? Would you add any more? I look forward to hearing from you in the comments. Personally, I try to apply these rules in my life. It's not easy, and many times I forget. I try to write them down somewhere and remind myself, Stoicism is not an easy path, just like life. It requires a lot of effort and discipline, but it is worth it. See you in.